Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I are playing the Delta Green role-playing game. I'm your host, Thom Raley. The scenario is Lover in the Ice. It was written by Caleb Stokes, and it's part of the Delta Green universe. I'm the handler, and this is episode 3. Our recap will be given by Riley Kruger as his character, Agent Delilah. I would like to mention once again that this scenario has some very gross body horror and violence of a sexual nature. So if you would rather not watch, we have a lot of less graphic content for you to enjoy. So without any further delay, let's continue our journey into the darkness. Riley?
Gee, we are in trouble. After cataloging the contents of the green box, Alarm turned up this horrifying manuscript, Escaping Artemina by Ryan Whitehead. Inside, the horrific tale of a Brazilian expedition gone sideways. Horny monsters that look like us being executed by the militia. One general even cutting himself to elicit a response from those controlled enough to be hiding amongst us. Eventually, the author traps one such monster inside an ammo box, much like the empty one we found not too far away. Thinking we knew what happened to Skip, we radioed for the others, and we reconvened, now complete with a rookie cop filigree. Jonah Washington's body and an idea of what happened meant that we are now in damage control. Skip's house had a unfortunate accident, shall we say. So we investigated Jonah and tried to track him down from where he came. Finding his vehicle and then his house, we discovered a state of disgusting debauchery, disaster. In the basement, a poor plumber had evidently been attacked by one of these things and was swelled, ready to pop. We found Jonah's room with his clothes strewn about as if he had just been attacked. Heading upstairs, we found a scene out of a snuff film where this homeless man had evidently been filmed as he had been attacked too. Heading across the hallway, we found an artist's room with a sculpture of what could only be described as the monster itself in terrific detail, almost like it would have been carved from life itself. Finally, we found the monster was hiding in the attic. After retrieving the digital items to be able to catalog and restore later, we set fire to the house to draw this monster out. It burst from the window and shooting it, it collapsed, but not before making a sound much like a chainsaw, much like all of the chainsaw sounds that we had heard all throughout the night. This problem is only just beginning, and we are in deep, deep trouble.
Right. You're all together, are you not, at this point?
Yeah, I believe we're standing in front of a burning house.
Yep.
And it is, well, we're going to say that it's about 5 p.m. at this point. You've come to the afternoon. What would you like to do next?
Well, I hope you all realize that we're probably not sleeping until this is done, because the more time we wait, the more this shit spreads.
I agree.
Yeah.
I have all of these electronic devices. I don't know if they're worth poring over to see if there'd be any answers.
I think they absolutely are with that weird sculpture.
And seeking out the artist of the sculpture might be worth an investigation as well.
Some kind of cult now?
Maybe.
Yeah.
We need to stop this from getting to the university as much as possible, because that's the largest hotbed of population. If it makes it to the university, that this town is in nuclear zone, and fuck.
How many times do you think you heard that that sawing noise since we've been here? 6 times, 8 times?
It was going when we came in on the truck. It's just been constant,
tell.
pretty much.
And that was early morning.
You've also seen people cutting things with chainsaws, so
yeah,
they're trying to extricate themselves.
Yeah, I think if there's any way, Agent Curie, we can get location data from those devices, that might help us track contact points. And yeah, this deranged art person might be starting, as Bones suggested, a sort of monster appreciation cult.
Yeah, she's definitely worth looking into.
Elkhorn, how are you doing? How's that bite you had? How's that doing?
I think it's pretty stable. I've got it wrapped up here. It hasn't been changing or spreading.
Well, let's take a look. Unwrap it.
Sure. Show him.
Agent Elkhorn, do a luck roll.
Nope. 65.
It looks like it might be a little red and it may be a little infected, but it doesn't look like you're growing things or there's not like some horrible black marks moving away from it into your body. It just looks like you were injured and it's a little red.
No orange residue, no
orange residue.
Slimy. Okay. We should re-clean that and wrap it up again, but it might be good news.
Yeah.
I'm not the medical expert here. Curry, what do you think?
I think right now we should, as Alarm said, clean it, redress it, but definitely keep an eye on it. In fact, Elkhorn, I'm gonna set an alarm on my phone. We're gonna check that every 2 hours or so until I feel better about it. So,
and just tactics wise, when these things die, their tails detach. One of them almost got me, but I shot its tail before it jumped on me.
Oh.
So just keep that in mind.
Oh.
Do you think we need more firepower?
Wouldn't hurt.
Yes.
The tail was kind of like the thing in Skip's mouth too. I mean, they have
it was the exact same thing.
Yeah.
So maybe they can regrow those and continue to infect if one of the monsters is free to shoot those into people.
Right.
Now, Filigree, Officer Filigree.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to need you to get another police car.
That might be difficult because of we do have a police department and they're all busy.
Yeah, and I can write up some documentation saying that we need it under FEMA's orders.
Bones,
why do you think
that's a priority?
Because police cars have weapons.
We could probably acquire weapons without getting into the paperwork.
There was a weapons store in town. Yeah.
Was there?
Yeah, there's a gun store in
if
town.
need be, we can acquire some through underhanded methods, shall we say?
All right. Because right now we only have police officer's handgun, a shotgun, and a carbine.
Right. Well, I think so. Now is the discussion of the best use of our available resources. Some of us could be looking into these digital assets. Some of us could be acquiring weapons. Some of us could be tracking down Tilda Hastings. Delilah, what were you saying? I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just agreeing with Bones because I only have a sidearm, and as effective as it proved just before, my preference would be to get some access to some stronger machinery.
When you've set this house on fire,
yes.
but before you did that, when you went inside and you were looking through it, and you found Jonas's room. Did you find a set of keys? I don't remember.
Not to my
I do not recall a set of keys.
Because his Jeep is parked right there.
Right. Maybe in the
military
fella.
Or on the key
flap.
In the kitchen area.
Check.
Right. Something else that is worth pursuing, Bones, you mentioned this last time, is tracing power usage.
Mhm.
Right.
Well,
'cause
that
they
was
like,
Delilah's idea. Great idea.
Oh, yes.
because they like it hot.
I'll check the Jeep, see if you left the keys in the. Why is the
Okay.
word not coming to me? The
I'll
flat.
give you a luck roll so that I don't just give it to you,
Okay, fair.
but it'll give
That
you another
is
vehicle.
41. Yes.
Okay, so
Nice.
you indeed find his keys. So you've got a Jeep.
Yeah, and nobody's going to be looking for it because his whole family has been brutalized. I'm not much for working things out of digital devices, so I might go on the artist hunt.
Okay.
See if we can find Tessa and what condition she's in.
Elkhorn, you should stick with Curry. For your sake.
Sure thing. So we're gonna track down some of these electronic stuff.
Yeah, we have a lot of electronic things we need to go through.
Okay.
We basically grabbed every device we could find in the place in case.
Yeah, like key, I think, could be the camcorder, and then we have 2 phones, I think.
Delilah.
Laptop too, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have 3 cell phones and 2 laptops and a video machine. One cell phone you got on the dead lady in the basement, and then you found 2 laptops and 2 cell phones in the 2 rooms upstairs.
All right.
Delilah, I'm
Yes,
probably
Bones,
better
you were
off
saying.
tracing the power usage back at the command base. If you could get the weapons from the weapons store, seems like a single person job.
Yeah, I think that's doable.
It's also getting dark, and a lot of the stuff is not open, and there's no people around because it's freezing outside.
Yeah.
So
And I guess Filigree would go with.
I mean, you're kind of handling him.
Yeah, he'll go with me.
okay. You can assume at this point, after what Filigree has said, he's like clinging to you, like
And he's seen the
puppy
monster,
dog.
so he knows
Yeah.
this is all real.
so he's both excited and he's terrified, and he understands he can't just walk up to the cops and say, "Guess what happened?" He's
And they're
Yeah,
gonna
I mean,
he's
he
yours.
really is a perspective. If any of us survive this, he'll be joining because there's no going back to Kansas.
he has
for
to
him.
join.
Oh. So I
Yeah,
guess my
this is
question,
basically-
we need, I'm assuming that we've gotten the Jeep with the police car and have left the scene before some emergency vehicle shows up.
Correct.
Regroup at the motel. I'm tempted to stick around with Curie to see if we can get information about the artist Tilda Hastings from a machine so we can save time and legwork.
I'll prioritize on getting those devices unlocked so we can get that information for you, Alarm.
Right. All right. So you've gotten back. Maybe you guys are whatever freshening up before you continue on your assignment. Agent Curie, you're going to look at the electronic devices.
Yes.
You're pretty good. Why don't you roll? Well, how high is your SIGINT?
SIGINT, none. I have computer science.
What's your computer science?
40.
No, that's good enough. So you identify that one of the cell phones is the cell phone of Tilda Hastings.
Mm.
The other one is Melody Farthing.
Okay.
And the third one is Pamela Decatur. She was the woman in the basement.
The plumber. Okay.
Now,
Let's start with Tilda.
I realize we have to suspend a little bit of reality here because whoever wrote this seems to think that people get voice messages on their on their cell phones. Who did you want to start with?
We'll start with Tilda. Any information
right.
we can give for Alarm.
All right, let's see. You look on Tilda's, and let's see. You get this up here. You get this.
Yeah, this is Kelly Decatur returning your call. I'm Pamela's husband. Our address is 697 Parkview Road. Okay? I'm home.
You've got a timestamp up there.
Okay. January 5th. 8 to 12.
That would have been yesterday evening.
Right. And that address is the house we just left.
Mm-mm.
Okay. No, I'm getting it mixed
Different
around.
house.
Okay. So, okay.
You can guess that that's Kelly Decatur. That must be Pamela's husband.
The husband. Yeah, he did say that.
And that's
okay. Yeah,
that's her home.
Got it. Yeah, I got it mixed up.
Which one next?
Is that all there is to find on Tilda's phone?
On her phone, yeah.
Okay.
The only thing of importance.
Why did he call
sure.
Tilda? I guess Tilda called him because the plumber had an episode in the cellar? Or is Tilda recruiting people because she sculpted that thing?
Are any of the laptops hers?
Oh, yes,
skipping
one
straight
of those.
to anything that looks like it belongs to her.
Yeah, one of them is hers.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go for hers.
When you manage to get that open, you start to realize the same pattern that you saw with Skip. Everything seems perfectly normal until yesterday early morning, maybe around 6. She starts researching graphic pornography, violent pornography. Not quite as much as Skip had managed to accumulate.
Okay.
I'm not going to show you any.
Thanks, I appreciate it. So I think we're assuming that Jonah brought this vector into the home, which then infected the others. No, because he wasn't infected though. I'm just thinking.
He was trying to get the hell away.
Right.
No, I think Tilda's the influx.
Yes.
Tilda was in some contact with Skip, and she brought it in. She made the sculpture.
You're right.
Very quickly. Everyone in her building is dead.
Right.
She is not accounted for, unless that was her that leapt out of the roof.
I reckon it's possible that she could be a host to this parasite, but one of the ones like in the story that has a little bit more control over themselves.
I'm afraid that's possible.
Yeah.
And then she might have followed this plumber to her husband's address. So that 697 address is where we'll start.
Yes.
Trying to shut this down.
Alarm, I'm concerned about you going alone.
No, I should have backup for sure. I guess
if we swing by the gun shop first, I'll go with Alarm.
Okay.
Good.
Uh-oh. Somebody dropped something? Sounded like Dan did, but
I think that was maybe the dog.
Oh, okay. So the next one that you work your way into is the one from the dead woman in the basement, Pamela Decatur.
Right.
And
this might be relevant, Alarm, so maybe hang around for just a second.
Get this.
Yeah.
Hi, girls. I'll be over around 8:30. Don't you fret. But I need you to go turn off the main. It's a red handle near the bottom of the basement stairs. Turn it perpendicular to the pipe, okay? Be there soon. Bye.
See the timestamp?
Yeah, 6:40. So around 2 hours, approximately 2 hours before.
No.
Or am I looking?
The
Did
other
I
one
not
was
see this?
PM,
Oh, that's
wasn't it?
AM. Sorry,
Yeah.
the column of people was covering up the.
Yeah. Sorry.
So
January 5th.
This isn't a. Yeah, this isn't a plumber. Like a plumber wouldn't speak to someone like that. This sounds like a landlord. Like, you know how some landlords are kind of friendly, like
Right.
something's broken.
Yeah.
Hey, come fix this. The pipe's burst or whatever. Okay, girls, I'll come do that. I don't think she's a plumber. I think she's actually their landlord or something.
Yeah, I
She
mean,
could
we
also
didn't see
be
like
like,
a plumber's van or anything.
Well, she's
Yeah,
a
she
corpse
could be
now.
It could be family, yeah.
she could be the super for the landlord that they know because this is a
Yeah.
group house and she's, you know, a little motherly. She
Yeah.
was past tense. So I wonder if they turned off the main. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. We turned everything on.
Yeah.
You also saw absolutely no evidence of flooding in the basement.
Mm.
So
They saw
Tilda
her
was
dummy.
looking for a victim.
And she just
Tilda-
lured her over.
Yeah, and then she got her husband, and then she got her address from her husband. So we're gonna find something unpleasant for a
Extremely
change.
cautious. All right, what's the video cam? Well, I mean, that's going to be my next thing. Whether or not you want to go into that or go somewhere else, that's fine. But
The video camera. You see two girls, college-age girls. They're both dressed oddly provocatively.
Hmm.
And they have apparently, because it starts as it starts, they have apparently invited a homeless person into their upstairs bedroom. And
Wow.
as you watch, a rather graphic sexual orgy begins. Both girls seem to be extremely erotic,
Yeah.
passionate,
Yeah.
and the homeless man seems to be enjoying himself. And as this progresses, they begin to do things to him which he doesn't like, and he begins to struggle. You see one of them pull out a knife and stab him a number of times, and then one of them leans over, and from her mouth comes this thing which jams itself into his mouth. The other girl comes over, and one comes from her mouth and jams into his neck, and you see him struggle, and there's just sort of a pumping motion that they begin to do, and through it all you can sort of hear them giggling and carrying on, and eventually they drag him onto the floor and out of frame. And eventually one of them gets up. You can see the blood down her front, the orange goop. The thing retracts into her mouth, and she turns off the camera.
Was there a timestamp on the recording?
Yes, it was yesterday, late afternoon. We'll say 3 p.m.
And we found the dead body of the homeless man, correct? Yeah.
He was puffed up and
bloated. He was
exploded.
Bloated. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Right. Okay. Well, this is, yeah, I mean, clearly infected the entire home, and it's seeking victims.
Yeah. So Tilda and Melody are carriers, at least.
Right.
Who are
the recording is. Sorry. Go ahead. It's just, why record it? You know, like, it feels all like is it part of this ritual, right? We've created this idol of it, or they've created an idol of it. They've recorded this. It all feels.
Young people feel themselves doing things.
Well, true. I mean, true.
Yeah, they could be trying to maybe slow it down. I guess, like, don't take over our bodies. Don't like make us swell up. Just sort of, we'll do what you want. So they get to keep going, but in the process infect so many other people.
Does the Ryan Whitehead text suggest that it affects male and female victims differently?
I mean, they both
Ryan didn't understand
really
what the hell was
porn.
going on. Yeah. I'm sorry, that wasn't my question. Sorry.
Yeah.
Melody farthings. Yeah, Melody Farthing's phone proves itself to be a little bit more difficult to crack.
Okay.
So you're probably just going to carry it around with you and see if you can break the coding
keep
on
working
it.
Okay.
What next?
Is that the last device?
Yeah.
Have we gone to the laptops yet or no?
Based on the
they just have porn on them.
Oh, okay.
Based on the time stamps on all these recordings, is the Decoteur's house the next in sequence, do you think?
It's not next door.
In terms of what we have addresses for, given that it looks like Tilda lured the plumber here intentionally and then called to get the family address, I'm guessing she went there. Right. She and her Antiques Roadshow of Horrors.
So the Decatur residence is the only lead that we have specifically pointing us to an address, right? At
this time, right? Until Delilah can do the follow-up, or somebody does the heat signature check, and there is also the possibility of just neighbors. I mean, why go across town? But there's the perversity of this disorder is striking. They're not always doing the simplest thing. They're doing something that causes that's arousing for some other reason.
Yeah. I think they are going to head to the college because that is the biggest area with power in that's like residential. Like there'll be students there.
Usually not hard to find somebody to have sex with young women on college campuses, is my understanding.
True.
I wonder if Tilda might be affiliated with the college,
maybe
as an artist potentially.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, it's a college
professor
town, so it would make sense that they would like go to the college. They're just not like residents in the dormitories. But if this gets into the dormitory, then the second any of these kids leave, it goes all across the country, across the world, and we're fucked.
Well, the weather's on our side in that regard. It's hard to get in and out of this place right now, but we need to mop it up while that's the case. Anybody else want to come gun shopping and to meet Mr. Kelly Decatur?
I may as well. I don't think there's anything else. I mean, I'll keep working on this phone, but may as well do, multitask.
Do we want to move as a group? We kind of, all hands were helpful at Skip's place.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't want to check the power usage.
I think that's a worthy thing to do.
And that office is is near the motel, so it's possible actually that.
Oh, I'm gonna do that then.
Yeah, so
maybe you were doing that while Agent Curie was breaking phones.
Yeah. So Bones, you can get a head start on us. Head back and go check the stuff. And then
I was actually going to look up the address that we just got as well to just confirm.
Good idea.
The power is really high.
We'll go shopping. You go look stuff up, and then by the time that we're finished shopping and come back to the motel, we can suit up and go bug hunting.
You want us to pick you up anything?
If you could find something that just covers the skin so it doesn't get to just infect us with whatever or something. If it does go wrong, that would be nice.
You mean body armor? What are you trying to cover?
How easily was it able to just like get through Elkhorn's clothes when it bit him?
Well, I think it went for his neck, didn't it? Or his arm?
Okay. So we should just cover up exposed skin.
Assuming Elkhorn was in winter clothes and still managed to get him.
Although we went into a house that was 92 degrees, so I don't know if we were carefully covered.
Fair.
Yeah, we can get like welding gloves maybe.
Yeah, that works.
We don't want to go shopping all over town though. We want to be prompt.
No, just give me a box of shotgun shells and I'll be happy.
Right.
Agent Bones, you
and a laser sight
room. You leave the motel, and you head across the parking lot. Do an alertness roll.
Sure. 74. Fail.
Okay. Just as you are getting towards the temporary room, you hear something off, just off to the side. There are a number of large trash bins, the big metal ones, and there is something rustling around in the trash bin.
What's going on here? Filigree, you noticed that?
Yeah, I think there's something in there.
Okay, why don't you check it out?
You want me to check it out?
You're the police officer.
All right. So he pulls out his gun and with his left foot extended forward, which he's hoping will arrive before he is, and he's ready for anything. He moves towards the bin, and there is suddenly a noise from within the bin. The lid of it pops open, and a very fat, large raccoon leaps from it onto the ground. Filigree falls flat on his back in absolute terror with a gun like this. He's like, fucking raccoons.
Nice job.
So the two of you go inside and you start looking on the grid. You do find the address.
697 Parkview Road.
Parkview Road. It's not too far, maybe a mile from here. It is lit up, so that particular area does have electricity.
Is it using more power than its neighbors?
Maybe a little, yeah.
Okay.
But
the neighbors aren't also spiking, so that's good.
No, they're not. You also notice another large building. It looks like a complex of buildings on the grid that's not too far from that. It's actually closer than the other. It looks like it might be a high school. That is dimmer than everything else, but you notice that there is a notation on the screen that says independent power.
Okay, that might be worth checking out as well. So I'll note down the address for the high school, and
it's the Truman High School.
Yeah, and just giving everything another once over. There aren't any other spikes that I notice in like a projected.
Well, on the other end of town, you do see the college area and all that. That has been restored to power.
Okay.
It's not particularly brighter than anything else.
Makes sense. Then I will take that information and get that to my team. I'll wipe my hands with a wet wipe again. Yeah, a little icky.
Yep. Right. They're just across the parking lot. So by now you probably see them coming out. Is that correct? You guys are coming out.
Makes sense.
Yeah, sure.
So you guys are all are you going to take two vehicles? You've got the Jeep. Well, you've got three vehicles now, actually, because you've got the police car and your van and the Jeep.
We are living large.
So
how'd their shopping trip go?
Okay, they're gonna go shopping.
Yeah. We were
gonna go shopping while Bones was looking at
and then I was gonna meet them there.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do it that way then. The others, you guys get into the middle of town. There's nothing open. You do find kind of on the edge an ammo store. Of course, it's got big iron bars over all the windows, and the doors are probably steel doors. How do you want to handle that?
Anyone good at picking locks?
Delilah sounded very confident earlier.
Delilah writes checks that with her mouth that her skills can't catch. I don't actually know what the skill would be to pick locks in
Criminology, I think.
Criminology. Oh, I have criminology. Yeah.
Of course you do.
We can have a crack at that. My criminology is 50.
Be criminal for us.
Your criminology is 50. That's pretty good.
Pretty good. Mine's 10.
Sometimes when you're going against poachers, you have to bend the rules a little bit.
I'll say unless you get a extreme failure, you're probably going to try to get through the back door because it's less obvious to the street. Don't you go ahead and roll?
I rolled a 7.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. So it doesn't take you long before you hear the click. You turn the knob and you open up the door. It is dark inside, obviously, because it's dark outside. There are no lights on. But you guys all have flashlights.
We all have flashlights with us, yeah.
All right. What do you want to get from the ammo store?
So Bones wants shotgun ammunition. At the very least, we just want to refill what ammunition we're using. And then any sort of accessories that would be helpful for using these weaponry, so like laser sights, optics, stuff like that.
And then we get rounds for the carbine. We get maybe 2 shotguns because they're easy to hit big monsters with, and several boxes of shells. We get at least Bones wanted toys like laser sights and optic stuff. I don't actually know what is good. Probably stuff in little plexiglass lock boxes is the expensive kind, but there's a floor version.
Right, yeah. The really expensive stuff's going to be separately locked up in there.
And we want to get rounds that Officer Bupkis can use that won't be recognized by his force.
All right. So each of you keep track of what you've got, of what you get. Pretty much they're going to have anything you want except some, type of laser gun. Yeah.
You mean I can't have an elephant gun from the 1930s?
It's just nobody a punt. You have a 20-foot long punt gun.
Only way to fly.
Yeah, so we'll get some shotguns, some ammunition for all the shotguns. Yeah.
You want anything? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think if they have like light flak jackets for hunting, those picking up a handful of those would be reasonable.
They have a lot of orange ones.
Yeah. Don't really want to increase our visibility. I am also, before we leave, I want to investigate the camera setup inside the shop.
Power's off.
Yeah. Just wanted to make sure that the power was, that even our blurry handheld faces weren't going around.
Do you want only lethal weapons?
I don't. We didn't find a taser effective, and I don't imagine they have like flashbangs here at the guns and ammo shop.
But
I haven't seen
batons, I don't know.
I haven't seen anything that I wanted to.
They probably have those ones that you can suddenly extend.
The telescoping batons.
People think those are hot. Right.
Honestly, this isn't my strong suit, so.
Same.
Okay. All right. So we'll assume that you get what you need, and you all converge on the Decatur household.
3 vehicles, 6 scared people.
The area in question is almost deserted. There's a few houses down at the end of the street that seem to still have power. The Decatur house definitely has power. You can guess too that if you start firing guns, the people down the street, if they're home, you don't really know if they're home, are going to hear it.
I'm going to guess that if there's lights on, there's people home, because if they had the sense and ability to evacuate, they probably turn things off because there's less risk if that's the case. You
Okay.
know, even odds at least. But right, we want to keep things quiet.
So you pull up to the deck at your house and see the lights are on. As you approach, you can hear a television is on. It's not particularly loud. You can hear it, and it sounds like a game show of some sort. You can hear laughter. You can hear, people cheering.
So the good news is there isn't competing broadcast media, and he hasn't papered the windows over it yet.
And there are a number of fresher footprints in the snow and ice right in front of going up onto the porch. Looks like maybe two people in tennis-like shoes or something
young
like
women.
that.
Young women who didn't bring their phones with them, so they're clearly out of their minds. Not their right minds.
We have to check out the high school after this. They're operating on independent power, and we don't know what's going on there. So,
were they housing evacuated persons at the high school or anything? I would expect it to be powered down. It's not like there's classes going on, but we'll check it out. I want to do a walk around the house to see if there are any broken windows, which we've seen in other places. Escaping prints. I'll catch up with you if nobody wants to do that stroll with me.
I'll put the laser sights on all our guns.
I'll take the stroll with you, Alarm. No one should be moving around alone.
Feel strange walking around a strange neighborhood with a shotgun, but I prefer it to not.
You have your flashlights.
It's nighttime, so
right. Do an alertness roll as you're walking around the house.
My alertness is 70, and I've got a 21, so good.
Okay. There are some pushed down depressions in the snow. They seem to be leading from the front yard towards the back. As you look at them closer, you can definitely see they are those sort of three-pronged feet.
Man, they brought one of their babies here.
They're quite large. And then when you get to the back, you can see where the window going into the kitchen from the house has been smashed open, and there are claw marks on the paint. Something scrambled up into the window.
I'm going to hit the radio real quick and say, bug in the house.
Okay. Laser sights are on the guns. Point and shoot.
Yeah.
Listen,
right.
Now that we've been made aware that potentially that we're not alone in here.
Remember to shoot the tail after you knock them down.
Then you were a little quiet there. Sorry.
Oh, so now that we know that we're not alone here, can we do a little legwork in advance to see if we can't detect something inside?
Yeah, they can detect vibrations, right?
Peering in, looking through the windows, listening, trying to figure out maybe where it's at in the house.
Sure. Tell me what you want to do.
So So they went for a walk and saw evidence that there's that
right.
bug about, right? We're outside still?
Yeah, you're in the front.
Okay. Well, let's go around and look through all the windows first.
Okay. There's actually a big big window up on the porch, looking into the living room area. All right, you creep up onto the porch, and with each step, the porch squeaks just a little bit, which makes you move very slowly and very carefully as you go up onto the porch. You look through the front room window, and the carpet and the floor in the front room are a bloody mess. And there are what look like two bodies lying on the floor. They have been pretty seriously mangled. You're pretty sure one of them is an adult male, and the other one can't quite tell, but it looks like a boy.
Like a child?
Like a child.
Did
There is blood everywhere. There is what might be another cell phone that's lying in the blood. And it's a mess. There was obviously a fight or an attack that took place in this room.
what do we know about the Decatur family? We know there's a man and a woman, and then kids. Do we know anything?
That's all. We just knew that there was a man and a woman.
Okay. Any movement inside?
None. Everything is quiet. You can see the TV's on, and it's you've got The Price is Right or something on.
Okay.
If this thing's still here, I'm assuming it's in the attic, but just an assumption.
We want to turn off the TV and then like maybe stomp around because it reacts to our vibrations.
Yeah, we're not
Or
going to hear
noise.
anything coming if the TV's blasting like that.
Those of you that are in the back where the window is broken, you can feel the heat coming from the inside of the house.
We might just have to go in. I mean, unless I bet you this thing probably would be going towards the hottest point in the house and just hanging tight there. So, is the front door locked?
It is not.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna go in and turn the TV off so I can hear myself think.
Okay.
And then
Agent Elkhorn, you open up the door. You push it open. There are obviously footprints, human footprints, and thing footprints, Amante footprints in the blood. Both of the bodies, it looks like they have been partially consumed. There are bits and pieces everywhere. And as you look down at your own feet, it looks like something was slipped under the floor, under the doorway. It's covered in blood, but what you see is this.
Mm.
Could you read that for us?
Maybe it's cold outside. We have food, warmth, and shelter. Cots available at Truman High School. Well, ain't that just dandy? What do we reckon? Did that just become our new priority? I mean, that's a lot of spreading.
Right now we should clear this house and then assess.
Okay, I'm gonna turn the TV off and maybe just listen again before we move room to room. I just would like not to be caught unawares by this thing.
Yeah.
Let me ask a quick question because I'm looking at my screen and I'm confused. What were the messages that you got on the phone?
The ones that we've checked already?
Yeah.
So Tilda's cell phone
go ahead.
had a call from last night. It was a call from Kelly Decatur, Pam's husband, and saying what his address was and that he was home from last night. And then Pam's call saying like, "Hey gals, turn off the main. I'll be home at 8:30, or I'll be there at 8:30." And then we saw a recording of the the homeless man being attacked by the two ladies.
And did you get a message on Pamela's machine, on Pamela's phone?
There was a phone we still haven't been able to unlock.
That's Melody's.
Melody's phone. I don't recall.
The two that Elkhorn just told you about are the two that we received.
Okay. At this point, Agent Curie, you've been, I mean, it's horror in front of you, but you've been fiddling with the phone, and you get Pamela's. Let me put that up. Open.
Hi, Pamela. It's Melody Farthing, your tenant over at 1824 West. We have a problem. There's water in the basement. We think a pipe broke. Could you come and fix it? We don't know what to do. We're obviously not going out. Bye!
That's not the address that we were just at, were we?
The Ambrosia address was the one that was where the girls were.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
it
so it
becomes
wasn't-
apparent that they lured off of there.
It wasn't Tilda that called Pamela, it was Melody, but it's Melody and Tilda that are on the spree, and they're at the high school now. We just want to make sure that there isn't a giant murder frog in the attic. So let's be efficient and clear. We don't really have to look for much because we know that they've got a prime target close by.
Agent Curie, you pick up Mr. Decature's phone. It is unlocked. You see a message on there as well.
Hi, Mr. Decatur. This is Hilda Hastings. Your wife left some of her tools at our house. We are on our way out and can drop them off. Could you call us back with your address? Thanks. Bye.
There was some unpleasant background noise to that phone call or that message as well. Yeah.
I wonder if that call was placed during the camcorder recording that we saw.
Yeah.
So if you put together the timestamps and everything,
Right.
sometime yesterday, early morning, Tilda called Pamela and made up the story about there being water in the basement.
Right.
20 minutes or so later, Pamela called Tilda back and said, I'll be there at 8:30, which once she arrived, obviously she was murdered.
Right.
They didn't do anything until later that evening, which was around 8:30, when they called Mr. Decatur and said that she had left some tools and that they would come over if he gave them their address. So this all took place yesterday evening.
This is,
And
we do not have control of this situation.
All right, maybe we gotta call the handler.
that's when you manage to get Melody Farthing's phone open.
Wow.
And you get this message.
Hey ladies, it's Chad. We got power. Party's on. Maximilian Hall, 9 p.m. tomorrow. See you there.
So today, 9 p.m. And what time is it now? Like after 5, you said, I think.
Maybe it's 6
It's gotta
now.
Yeah,
Right.
it's got to be 6-ish. So do we want to just firebomb this house, then firebomb the high school, then get to McFillian Hall rather than doing room-to-room searches?
Uh,
That would certainly be more efficient.
take more
That thing
time to
jumped
burn
out
an
of the
entire
window,
house.
though, did it not?
Yeah. I say we just have to clear room to room.
I think it.
Fuck.
I'm sorry, the kitchen window, was the glass on the inside or the outside?
Inside.
No,
Yeah,
I
it jumped-
apologize. I meant it in the other house. The thing jumped out of the window and then we had to kill it. So,
Yeah.
like any of these buildings are set to fire, it's going to try to escape.
And we're gonna have to wait
Right.
for the building to burn.
We wasted so much time. Oh
So-
my god.
Can we call in a tactical nuke now and just like make our peace with Jesus? Because
We need
No,
to
we can
make
stop
peace
it
with the fact
now.
that that may be what we have to do. Because once it gets to the college, it's just
Yeah.
so
already
much
on at
time.
9 p.m. We've
Well,
got
we're gonna have
3
to split
hours.
up.
Oh fuck.
Yeah. Okay.
Some
Let's
of us
deal
at
with
the
the
high
here and
school, some of
now.
us at the college.
We need to intercept
Yes.
these girls because they're the transmission vectors. If we can find these girls before 9 p.m., then we can stop this.
Do we have Tilda's phone number? Or do we have her phone?
You have
We
her
have our
phone.
phone.
Yeah,
Damn, I was going to try to
message-
call it, but never mind.
That message from Chad came in about 11:20 last night.
Well, you should call Chad back, Agent Curie,
Mm.
and tell him that there's a bunch of narcs coming to Fillion Hall, and he should move the party to the gymnasium ASAP.
I'm not going to lie. My social skills aren't great. Is anyone more persuasive? Delilah, you look like a fairly persuasive person. Maybe you could make this call.
Can you sound as stupid as those girls?
Could we?
I could be a little bit persuasive. This I can do, but if I don't know, I know college boys. They don't give a shit. They will actively flaunt it in the face of authority if they can. It's we have filigree. We have filigree.
We do.
We send filigree straight
Shut it
over,
down.
and
Yeah.
he's like,
Filigree
"I know
is-
about the party."
Straight to Fillion Hall and says, I'm shutting this party down. And he won't even get in trouble for that with his office.
No, he won't,
Right.
because he's just found out about this party through word of mouth, and then filigree doesn't have to see the
Illegal party. There's probably 4 bottles of Jägermeister there. He can.
4 bottles. Are they rich?
Well, we don't know how many.
this
It's a large campus.
Yeah.
You hear that, Filigree? This is the most important mission in your entire life. You got to shut down this party.
You're going to save
Okay.
this college from mass infection.
So filigree shuts down the party. Do we have photos of these girls? We didn't take any photos in the house. Is the problem?
They've got to have
there'd be photos
selfies on their
the
phones.
I was
Yeah.
about to say, I'm sure
got
their phones full
selfies.
of pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
And we've got videotape of them, but it's harder to recognize them when they've got
Yeah.
monsters crawling out of their mouths.
I think these girls are shoot on site. So we send filigree to shut down the party. We go clear the high school. The second the high school is cleared, we go to college. If we see them on the way, we shoot them. If we get to the college before 9 and they're not there yet, we shoot them when they show up. Because they don't have communications. And then if we can stop it getting to the college, then we can hopefully prevent a massive transmission event, even though there's one already at the high school. Fuck.
Yeah,
All
the
right.
question is,
This is
so
so
2 of us
fucked.
want to stay here and finish making sure this is clean.
Yep.
We send the officer to the college to pre-shut down the party. I'm expecting there are going to be a lot of, like, I don't know, bulging corpses at the high school waiting to burst forth with new life. But if we can get them while they're down, we might
Yeah.
be able to stay ahead of it. Let's move.
Yeah.
Can we
All
call
right.
these places?
Well, we don't know how to call the high school or who we'd
The
talk
phone
to.
lines have been pretty clogged too. It's been difficult to get calls out.
All right, but we got to clear this house first. So
Yes.
let's just do that. Do a sweep. Can I do that efficiently with like a military science roll?
Sure. Go ahead
Okay.
and roll that.
Pass.
Okay. So as you start to be careful and tactical as you're moving around, it doesn't take you very long to realize that there is something in the attic that is indeed listening to your footfalls and itself moving rather tactically.
Okay, so
Depending on the construction of this house and the fact that we've got a bunch of shotguns now, we might be able to perforate that thing without even seeing its fucking ugly face.
and is
other
it moving
parts.
like right above me and it's following me as I'm walking across?
Yeah, you think that might be in fact what it's doing.
Okay, I am going to take out my phone and just play a YouTube video, some music, and just like
Gonna
keep it
increase
there.
the sound. Okay.
No, to draw it right above the music, and then we're just gonna shoot right above us, right above the phone. I'll put on Baby Shark. My son loves that song.
You want that to be my last memory?
I am not going to add that to this video.
But yeah, I do exactly
mind.
that. And then we're just gonna perforate the ceiling, I guess. And once we do that, that's gonna actually put a time limit on us because neighbors are gonna hear the shots.
Mm.
I mean, honestly, a lot of people aren't in town. Nobody responded to the fire very quickly.
Okay.
We want to move, and we need to burn the place down anyway because nobody can see these bodies.
Yeah.
The only question is, and I have a 50 in demolitions, so I feel like I would know whether regular shotgun rounds would perforate the kind of ceiling that this thing is walking around in. And basically, I think if it's like 1890 hardwood, then we're not going to be able to kill a monster by firing shotguns through it. If it's 1960s suburban house, then we'll be able to perforate the roof by firing through.
This house definitely looks newer than
right. We have 3 shotguns.
Ahead.
There's Baby Shark playing. I'm ready to have a good time.
Let's do it.
All right.
I'll hand out some earplugs just to reduce the hearing damage.
Okay, so we just start firing into the ceiling.
Well, no.
Okay.
You've put Baby Shark.
Yep. Damn straight.
And nothing happens.
Oh, okay.
I mean, is there a reason not to just... Oh, sorry.
What was your question?
Oh, my question was, what's the reason not to just torch the place and skedaddle?
It takes time for a house to burn down.
We have to make sure the thing doesn't hop out.
Yeah, the last house we did, it jumped out, so.
So you play Baby Shark. I would like you to do, you have a listen roll or an alertness roll?
Alertness, yeah, sure. 08 out of 50.
So you wait, you play it, you're listening very carefully for the ceiling to squeak. You think you hear some squeaking. But it's not near where the Baby Shark is. It's kind of on the perimeter. You can't quite place where it is. And as you're listening, you hear a sound. The sound at first sounds once again that sort of sound up in the attic. And then you hear the sound of something squeaking, not like a floorboard, but like a door opening.
Oh, there's someone still here.
You then hear what sounds like a scrambling noise, like something trying to climb the walls. And then outside, you hear a thump. Something lands in the yard outside.
Okay. So we didn't have time to react to that?
Fuck.
Well, tell me what you do. You so far it's upstairs in the attic. You're waiting there with your
So did it
going.
thump before we were able to react, or because like as soon as we heard it, like this chainsaw noise or this carding the bicycle tire noise, I feel like I just start shooting.
But you don't know where to shoot. It's just coming from somewhere. You want to shoot?
No, I guess
I'd
not.
like to run over to the window nearest where I heard the thud.
Okay. And as you run to the window and look out, you see this Amante. It's landed in the snow. It's run towards the fence, and it's leaped up into one of the trees. You've got a view of it. You could probably shoot at it, but you don't have time to really aim.
Well, you get a +20 for a laser sight.
So can I take a...
You have to aim to use a laser sight.
No, you don't. You have to aim
Still
to shoot
it,
too.
yeah.
So like,
So can I take a pot shot at it with the shotgun?
Sure.
Scampers up into the tree. Okay, so I rolled a 59 under 60 in firearms.
nice.
You shoot, and you think you might have hit it. You hit it in what looks like maybe it's one of its back legs. But like a sort of monkey in the trees, it swings from limb to limb, and it's quickly out of your sight, at least from where the window is. You know which direction it's going.
Elkhorn, if you winged it, we can follow the orange goop. I guess we'll repeat our previous success, set the place on fire, and then wait for the rest of it to come out in case it can grow another tail.
Do I get the impression that any of the shot grazed it enough to...
Yeah. You saw a little splatter of orange.
So it's leaking a little bit. Yeah, alarm. It's spitting out.
All right, it looks like we'll have to split up. Some of us go after that. Some of us have to check the high school like now.
Yeah, I could use one person join me, and we can track this one down.
So do you all run
Yeah.
outside?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I have some survival, so I can come track the thing with Elkhorn, and then you guys go to the high school.
All right.
Yeah, I
Filigree
wanna-
already
you
been
need to
sent
go
off to the
now.
college. Yeah, go.
Like, Filigree
Go.
needs to leave now.
I want to go
Yeah.
downstairs
Right,
and
Filigree
work
leaves.
on. Yeah, Filigree's gone. I want to go downstairs and work on the demolition of the house.
Yeah.
Gas line
Agent
or whatever.
Elkhorn and Delilah need to leave as well. Just go.
Yep.
Go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're gone.
All right, I'm going to the high school. Is anyone coming?
Elkhorn, Delilah, and Agent Bones. When you've gotten outside the house, you can see the splatter of orange blood, whatever you call it. The thing has obviously had to follow the tree line if it's going tree to tree, and over the fences of people's backyards. That particular area of the sky is more lit up, and you think that might in fact be the high school. It's the biggest, brightest, warmest place.
Okay, so it's
Delilah,
heading
You think
towards the high school
Diamante
anyway.
is heading straight towards it,
Okay.
Okay, so let's go.
Yeah.
I'm
we'll chase
sprinting.
it.
right? And Agent Alarm and Agent Curie, you are lighting the place on fire.
Yeah, you're
You're muted.
alarm, you're muted.
The gas stove, if it's a gas stove, or the oil in the whatever, however this place heats itself, I'm going to rig it to blow up, and we're going to stand catty corner, ready to shoot anything that comes out of the burning
Okay.
building.
The house slowly begins to ignite. The fire crackles, and you're finally convinced that there's nothing in the house. That's going to take 20 minutes or so. Agent Bones, Agent Elkhorn, and Agent Delilah, to your horror, you realize that the tree line goes right up to the high school, and there is a very large, building, gymnasium-like. And you can see that there are quite a few people, maybe 15 people outside the doors of the building in the front smoking cigarettes. There are some small lights on the outside of the building, the way, high schools tend to be. And that's what's causing the light. There's spotlights. But the gymnasium itself, the door is open. Obviously, they've come out to smoke, but you don't see any light on inside the gymnasium.
Hey, well, we all have shotguns drawn, and we're approaching this situation, this shit show.
So
We might as well cover our faces. And
if we're running, then surely us arriving with shotguns will be enough of a deterrent for them to quit smoking for today and fuck off inside. But just in case, should we perhaps be screaming at them to be like, "Hey, fucking get inside now!" Try and avoid them getting infected as well.
I mean,
All right.
we don't want them inside? That's where they're going.
We'll yell at them to go home.
Yeah, we'll just tell them to fuck off, but we don't want to cause mass panic. But I think we can probably swing showing up how we are and telling them to piss off.
What if we shout looter? Like looters, fucking get out of here, and then shoot the.
How about one of
Lafontaine.
us basically holds them all up with a shotgun
Yeah.
and like robs their wallets or whatever, while the rest go in and get free reign.
Remember,
Well,
we
I'm
don't wanna
not-
create panic. That's going to make
I'm not-
this so much more
Yeah.
chaotic.
Quite sure I've maybe been clear enough. There are 150 people bivouacked in here to stay out of the cold who lost power.
Yeah.
They have cots, they have food.
Yeah, like get these smokers inside because we've got the fucking Amate in. But if they're not dead, then great. Then
Yeah, that means
It's
nothing's
like
gone wrong
full
at the
up.
high school.
we kill the
Yeah.
Amate and then we fuck off to the college.
In
And
front of
then-
150 people.
Sending those guys inside is assuming that nothing's happened yet in the school.
Hmm.
So, which I don't. I mean,
Well,
we
and
don't
as
see
you're
people
approaching,
when-
they don't seem panicked. They're just sitting there smoking.
All right, so we've followed this Amate through the tree line. So
You
like
think if it got there before you, it could have easily leaped up onto the roof of the building
okay.
and maybe found some way in. You also notice that the reason it's off the power grid is there are a number of large generators
Mm.
that are attached to the school.
Let's get all these people down into the basement before these things can get in there. So assuming these things are already about to get into the school, we can get everybody down in the basement where maybe there's not a ton of entrances and exits.
I think
that we
it's
can
already
face
in the
off.
school.
All right, so here's what we do. We run in, we say, "Hey, we're chasing a fugitive right now. Everybody hunker down. Do not open the doors for anything. If something busts through the windows, beat it to death." And then we head up the stairs and we
Is there a fire escape to the
find it and
rooftop
kill. Yeah.
as an
There's
alternative?
probably a maintenance access to it. Yeah.
Okay, maybe we just do that instead of panicking 150 people and exposing them to the unnatural.
Well, if they hear a shotgun blast, they're gonna.
So
Okay.
that's a transformer blowing.
Okay. Sounds good. Let's go. Let's stop fucking talking about it. Let's just go. Because the
All
more
right.
we talk about it, the more it's gonna have a chance
Up the
to
ladder.
come in,
Let's go.
fuck
All
things
right.
up.
Towards the back of the gymnasium, you in fact find a maintenance ladder.
Yeah, it went up here.
The maintenance ladder, however, there's maybe 8 feet that have a solid piece of metal that you would have to unlock to open so that you could then climb up because they don't want kids climbing up onto the thing.
Is it just padlocked on, or
It's just padlocked, yeah.
those things don't survive like a hefty whack?
A blow.
Yeah, I'm just gonna
Correct.
hit it with the end of the shotgun.
All right, you easily shatter it and it falls to the ground. You can pull open the thing and you can climb up.
All right, let's go.
It looks like you climb up onto a smaller building and then you can climb up onto the gymnasium itself. And you do now see evidence of bits of, drops of orange blood in your
All right, we got to follow
flashlight.
that.
Yep.
Nice shot, Elkhorn. We just got to follow this trail.
All right, let's do it.
Okay.
All right.
Meanwhile, Agent Alarm and Curie, the house is blazing. Nothing's come out. What are you going to do?
We don't realize that they've made it to they've headed to the high school. I don't believe.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
They took off following the thing. It wasn't specific. I think we'll take Washington's Jeep to the high school.
Yeah.
And see what the situation is.
Do we want to touch base with Filigree and Ab? We need to make sure we're successful. Yeah.
If we've got him sharing a radio channel, we should absolutely see if he's found. I mean, did he know the hall in question where Chad said the party was? Was that a
Surely
part
we
of
shared
campus he
Dillian
knew?
Hall with him. Yeah, I'm assuming
Dillian
we
Hall.
shared that with him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he knew what that was. So yeah, we'll just on the way. Whoever's not driving can radio
Request a
Filigree
status
and
report
say,
now.
yeah.
Okay. You attempt to radio Filigree. I got a 91. Nope, you don't make it. It's just static.
Right.
But you do hear one of us say, "Hey, we're on the roof. This thing's at the high school."
Yeah, then that means we're definitely heading to the high school.
Floor it.
It means two things. We're going to the high school and we don't know that Filigree is going to interrupt the party. So it's time for you to call Chad and say,
Okay.
we totally have to move the party to my dorm or I'm not coming, and neither are the other girls.
Okay.
Just sound young. You don't have to be specific. You don't have to tell him anything. You have to listen to him. Just sound female and possibly horny. And Chad is going to move the party.
All right. This might go over. Can we have a 5-minute break?
Sure.
But you might be able to finish it tonight.
5 minutes later.
I'd like to radio Curie an alarm.
Okay. Your radios are working, so go ahead.
Curie, alarm. This Elkhorn. When you arrive to the high school, make it a priority to corral all those people into a defensible location, if you can. We're on the roof tracking this down. We don't want to mix.
Right. What people need to be corralled?
The folks taking shelter in the school.
Yeah.
All right. All right, Curie, we need to think of a sub-emergency.
Oh yeah, reason to get everyone into what, like the basement?
Yeah.
The high schools have basements.
Depends on where you live. Every school I did. Oftentimes like the gyms are mostly underground. Other spaces that didn't have a lot of windows were often underground, but it varies.
That'd be perfect.
I mean, perfect would be.
Well, they're in the gym.
Right.
All right. So you guys have gone up under the roof. What you find on the roof? You can see traces of blood, orange blood here and there, but it does look like there is access to the roof from the inside of the building, and that door has been smashed open. The Amante has entered the building.
Get after it.
Yeah, we're gonna kill the son of a bitch before it gets a chance.
Okay. Yeah, it is, of course, pitch black when you go through the door onto the stairwell going into the building. You are in the upper levels. There's a lot of looks like air conditioning and heating and ducts that are here and there. So it's a nice, warm, complicated maze up here in the upper levels of the building of the gymnasium. Agent Alarm and Agent Curie, you pull the Jeep up, you start to move forward. Once again, you see a few people standing outside smoking.
These people are very stubborn in this cold, standing outside smoking. I want one question though. Did Curie manage to get a hold of Chad on Tilda or Melody's phone?
I was going to try to call in Chad.
Because we want to stop that party before we even pull up at the high school.
Go ahead and try.
All right, Alarm, if you want to go ahead and get ahead of that while I do this. Yeah, I'll try to call Chad.
Luck roll.
82, no luck.
Yeah, you get static. You think that it starts to ring, but it gets cut off. The cell towers are still bad.
Note to keep trying that. They did manage to leave some voice messages, so there's intermittent service.
Right.
And we have a 9 o'clock deadline if we can't find the ladies here, as Elkhorn so quaintly called them. Okay. So like flashlight
So
waving out of the Jeep, like attention, Sergeant are up. We need to put the cigarettes down. We've got a rabid animal situation. There have been a number. There's been, I think it had to do with the big freeze. There's an outbreak of some nasty, I don't know, weasels or raccoon. I don't know. We've only seen they've been biting people. The hospital's full of bite victims. You don't want to be. And get inside the building, please. We need to organize. There are FEMA agents inside already looking for animals that might have infiltrated. So listen for direction.
You go in with them, and most of them, I mean, a lot of people have cell phones. Even though they're not getting reception, they are using them as flashlights. The electricity is on, but the lights are off inside the gymnasium. And as you enter the gymnasium, you see 150, maybe 200 cots that are all laid out in lines throughout the gymnasium, and you see families, children, all of them in there. If you ask, the guy says, you're obviously not from here at the moment. They got the lights turned out because it's on generator power, and we're trying to conserve the electricity so that we don't, run out. The gymnasium is what I was just going to say. The gymnasium is what you expect a gymnasium to be. You can see there's basketball court, and there's bleachers that all fold up against the wall, and there's a scoreboard. And you can't really see above that, but you can guess that there are rafters.
Yeah, rafters and lights and hanging crap. Yeah, we need the lights on. Otherwise we're going to have little pocket orgies in every corner of this place, and as soon as that thing gets down here. So yeah, whoever the brave community member was that told us about the generators, we're like, we are requisitioning special power for the gym. We know you people need heat during the night. Right now we need lights on because there are some nasty critters running around. If you'll show me wherever the breakers are, we're lighting this place up. It's too early for sleep anyway.
The guy's like, I'm just a citizen. I don't have any idea where.
We very much appreciate it,
how to
sir.
Control this.
Okay, so we're flashlighting. Probably there'll be large banks of switches by the doorways to the larger chunk of the building where that gets turned on and off.
Meanwhile, upstairs, ancient bones, ancient Elkhorn, ancient Delilah. You think that you're in some sort of storage area. It's fairly large and open. There's boxes and things. The room is warm. You're up high. The heat from the building is coming inside. All of you do alertness rolls.
43 under.
I have no idea what's going on for this game, but I just rolled a 2.
80.
What is my rolls? What is going on?
I passed as well with a 34 out of 50.
Person 2 is just a regular win.
So yeah, I got a success.
All right. Those of you who passed, so you're pretty sure the creature might have come through here. You don't see any more blood, but there are a lot of places to hide in here. Those of you who passed, you notice there seems to be a large table. Maybe it's one of a number of ping pong tables or something around that size. And at a glance, it looks like there is something underneath it, like a tarp. and the tarp seems to be covering something up against the back wall. Something, can't quite see how big it is, but it's bigger than a person.
All right.
That's something
Train on
moving.
this.
Take aim.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1. I'm
You're going to start firing in here? Oh, okay.
I'm gonna whip the canvas away. So Bones is
okay.
trained on
Well,
it.
the only way to actually get to the edge of the canvas to do that is to climb under the table.
All right. Sure.
Okay.
If
I
that's
take
what it
aim?
takes. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna cover Delilah.
So, Agent Delilah, you get down on your hands and knees and start to move under the table. And there's the thing in front of you. It's bulgy, it's lumpy, you're not sure what it is. You grab a hold of the edge of the tarp and you give a sudden yank. And whatever it is behind there starts to move towards you very quickly. And it is a big pile of basketballs that roll out. They scare the crap out of Bones and Elkhorn. You can all do sanity rolls. Just lose one if you.
That one.
God
Yeah.
damn it. We got to keep moving.
Better than one of them things.
All right. This thing's obviously been through here though. Let's keep going.
So you move through the far end door and you realize that what you were about to go onto is a catwalk, and you can hear a lot of noise coming from down below you. People talking, maybe some small radios, as in listening to radio music or maybe recordings, but you are at the top of the gymnasium looking down into the room, and you see a couple of hundred cots and people with their cell phones. And you realize that from here to the far wall in all directions are crisscrossing beams that hold up the roof and other catwalks and everything else. And it's very dark where you are.
Still,
Yeah, we got the flashlight. We're looking.
just looking for a flash of like that, whatever the color, the pink,
The pink thing.
Yeah, I'm checking above us as well.
Meanwhile, Agent Alarm and Curie, you are looking around for the control panels. They aren't on the wall, but you do find a connected room that looks like where like the scorekeeper and stuff would stay.
Mm-hmm.
There are light controls there, and there is a PA system for making announcements.
Right. So hello, everyone, again. Thanks for your cooperation. Shield your eyes. It's going to be bright for a moment. We're bringing the lights up. We've got backup power coming to you soon. And this is also connected to the grid, so you don't have to depend on the generators. We have multiple reports of bites from rabid animals. So families gather the kids close together. If everyone goes to the assigned set of beds they have, just to keep things orderly. We just want to be able to we've got FEMA agents coming in from the roof. We just want to scour the place and make sure nobody gets, a nasty bite from some critter hiding from the cold tonight. Your cooperation is very much appreciated. We'll be in touch when the threat is eliminated.
You did that over the PA?
Mm-hmm.
After you say that, Alarm, do you think we should just tell them to evacuate the building?
Yeah,
Like,
I'll radio in. This thing's
Higher
in-
risk, what just happened?
Everyone
Oh,
moved.
you raised your hand, and then the hand symbol raised up.
Oh, that's so
Mhm.
weird.
That's a really obnoxious thing.
I did
Thanks,
not
Zoom.
press
And it-
any
and it
buttons. It just
moved
did it because
the-
I moved my hand.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
really
but now we want to
stupid.
make it disappear. There,
I'm
it
sorry.
finally disappeared.
Okay. Anyway, not doing that.
Yeah, I'll radio in it and
yeah.
just say, hey, this thing's in the gym. We're
I
in
think
the
we should
scaffolding.
evacuate the building.
You want to send all these refugees randomly into the cold, into
It's
the
a no-win
night and the
scenario.
dark. I mean, we don't know. There are other bugs out there as far as we know. Here we've got
True.
light, organization. If one person gets attacked, they'll scream.
Okay.
I don't.
All right.
And
you know,
I'll
All right.
argue over the radio to alarm. I'm like, if they see this, they all have cell phones. They're gonna take a picture of it, and then we're fucked.
if you see it and you shotgun it, and they know already it's a rabid raccoon, they're going to say, "Oh, I saw a rabid raccoon."
Not if its body
explode."
falls into
It's
the gym.
huge.
Remember, we're on the scaffolding right above the gym.
If it runs out with them, then we'll never find it. And these things have traveled through the cold. They jumped out of a burning building.
You've really put this is a rock in a hard place.
It's no-win. It's no-win scenario. I think
And we're
we just
counting
need to-
down till 9 p.m. We have not been able to reach Filigree. We've not been able to reach Chad.
All right, we're just gonna fucking kill this thing
Yeah.
because we know it's here.
We'll deal with the fallout. Just kill it.
And if the people are organized and still, it's going to be a lot easier to find this thing.
We've got one job. Our job is to hunt the thing, and then the management part, we can't really play a part in that. We got to focus on what we're doing.
You're right, Alcorn.
Ancient
Handler,
alarm.
Yeah, I was. I'm wondering if there's some place, if this little room that has the recording equipment and the light controls in it, since it's smaller, can I get up on its little roof? Because I'm thinking of
No,
going up
it's
there and giving
it's
myself
actually
a cut.
inside the building. It's a part of the inside
Right.
of the building.
Okay.
However, do an idea.
Yeah, I'm thinking about cutting myself. My idea roll is crap, so my idea is cutting my. Oh, my idea. No, my intelligence is only 50. My power, that would have been a pass. My intelligence, it's not. So I'm gonna, barring anything you resolve as a handler, what I'm planning to say to Curie is, I think we need to see this thing needs to see some pain. And I know you got a knife. We brought you a hunting knife. So if you're up for it, I'd like to go someplace where this thing can see and you can give me a nice new scar on my forearm.
Okay. I'll stitch you up afterward.
Okay.
We know the thing listened to us from the attics before. So before we leave the booth, let's ask the crowd to be quiet while the FEMA people do their work. And I'm going to scream in pain when you give me a cut.
I hope that works. It didn't work last time. I hope it works.
We got so little and so much risk.
All right. So, Jesus, I have 391s in a row. How did I do that? Stupid dice. All right. So tell me simultaneously, tell me exactly what you're going to do. You're going to cut yourself. You're going to make noise.
Yeah. While the hunters are in the scaffolding looking for this flesh monster, Curie and I are going to go out of the booth and onto the floor of the gymnasium. And I'm going to proffer my forearm, and she's going to go slap, and I'm going to scream because it will hurt a lot. It's her nerves.
Okay. And you're still in the dark?
Oh, no, in the booth, I think before we made the announcement, I'm sorry, if we could control the light knobs, we were going to turn them up bright. Okay, I warned the crowd.
That's going to be the moment. So when you suddenly turn the lights on, you're going to leave the booth and go out there and cut yourself. I would like Bones, Elkhorn, and Delilah to do alertness.
No.
I rolled a 66 underneath
20.
my 70.
Oh, crit! Nice. I thought.
Okay. Delilah.
What is
You
my
happen to
rolls?
be looking in the right direction. The lights come on. There is, you're all immediately sort of blinded. And when you do, when you come to, you realize that quite a ways across the gymnasium, but on the catwalk is that large pink creature. And it is, you can see it moving, its head. It hasn't made any noises yet. And it seems to be a little confused because despite what Agent Alarm said, it's impossible to make all these people be quiet. But just as that light came on, you think it was trying to, echolocate and triangulate against the big speaker on the wall. And then it turns towards the people below and it's trying to find a target, but there's too much noise. And it just, if it could look confused, it looks confused because it doesn't know where to go or what to do. And it's completely unaffected by the light turning on because it doesn't have eyes in the first place. But it's maybe 100 feet away from you on the scaffold, and there's not really a clear shot without the possibility of it ricocheting off all the other stuff in between you, but you see it.
I would like to rush towards it and close as much distance as possible.
Okay.
And if it moves even slightly towards me, I'm shooting it.
Bones and Elkhorn?
Yeah, we need to get
Yeah, I'm moving in to assist Delilah.
clear shot on it and just take it out.
So you guys are behind Delilah. All right. You begin to run towards it, and this is as Agent Alarm and Curie step out into the room. You're getting ready to cut yourself, and you look up and you see what they see, and you see Delilah moving towards it tactically with her rifle. Delilah, as you move, your feet are definitely making a clang, 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 and sending vibrations through that entire spider web of stuff above you. The creature immediately focuses in on you and begins to move, but not the way you expect. It throws itself off of the scaffolding and grabs a hold of it and swings underneath and begins moving towards you, keeping the floor, the catwalk, in between you and it. And it's moving towards you rather rapidly. Agent Alarm and Agent Curie, you can see it doing this.
Maybe we switch
It's
to
moving
shotguns.
towards all.
What alarm?
Maybe we switch to shotguns.
That's what I have.
Yeah. As long as it's, I don't know, what are agents exactly on the other side of it from us, or are we both from the same wall sort of as it comes?
If you're
Right,
looking up,
they
you
were
can see
above us.
your agents here.
Right.
You can see the thing moving towards them this way, like
We don't have to worry about accidentally hitting them.
Good. Yeah. Shotguns, we've got
Yep.
a better shot.
I'll take a
Not
shot at
my
it, yeah.
strong suit, but it'll also, I've got it's a 9, which is only a regular success, but it's a success.
Okay. So who's shooting? Agent Alarm? Agent Curie?
Yes.
All right, go ahead and roll.
So I've got a regular shotgun. I don't know what the damage on shotgun is.
2d10.
2d8.
Or
People
2d8.
are noticing. People are starting to go, what's that?
You bet. The sooner it's
God, are you serious?
confetti,
2
the better.
ones. That's brutal.
That is brutal. But not as brutal as me also getting 2 1s.
Oh my God.
That's
So how much?
really
4?
4.
We did 4 damage between us with 2 shotgun hits.
That's terrible.
You definitely hit it. You can see splatters of orange. And when you do, it almost halts in its tracks. and attempts to swing up now onto the scaffold again, the catwalk, and move in the opposite direction of where the agents are. It's now it's trying to protect itself from you guys. However, that puts it back into your line of sight, Delilah, Bones, and Elkhorn.
Oh, we're all gonna blast it.
Oh, absolutely. Weapons loose.
Okay. Go ahead.
2 damage.
28 hit.
I rolled a 4. Goodness sake.
Very nice.
What is... I have never rolled
Fuck,
this
I rolled a
ever in my
1
life.
and then a 3, 4 damage total.
Where I
Terrible.
got a hit
Oh,
for
shit.
9.
Okay. Agent Bones, your shot hits it, injures it. Agent Delilah, you injure it also. You think you've injured the appendage that's on it, and Agent Elkhorn, you blow a hole through the middle of it. It splatters on the back wall. It splatters on the catwalk, and of course, everybody in the gymnasium screams because of the noise and the gross goo that comes raining down on top of them.
Back to the booth, Curie. We've got some organizing to do.
For the most part, most of it is intact on the scaffold.
That's good. All right, so rush up to it. We'll
Get the tail 1 time.
damage the appendage even more, just to make sure it doesn't come off.
Okay.
And then, yeah, we don't really have time to do a nice cleanup job of it. It's just more of a, like, you guys fucking do your own thing. We're going to the college to try and get these girls before they go and infect this whole party.
You guys get a on your radio, and the broken voice of Filigree seems to be coming through. He says a bunch of stuff that just sounds like garbled noise, but you hear him say, "Party's already going." It's like Caligula.
Oh my God.
Ah, college kids.
Alarm, you want to go? Should we take point on this and take point on that and go now?
Yeah, let's
Some
make
group
a
should
quick
break away.
announcement. Let's make a quick announcement about the safety.
Yeah.
Everybody's safe. Wipe anything off that fell on you. The animal's dead. Don't worry about it. And then tear off on the Jeep. Do you
What are you
know
going to
how
do
to?
with the thing's body?
We're leaving that to the guys on the scaffolding to drag off and burn,
Yeah.
I think. We didn't tell them that yet, but if they ask, because the taillights recede, that's
I mean,
how
we
we'll
can relay
answer.
this over radio. We're on it. You know, we're going to go try to intercept the party.
Curie, do you know how to make quantities of something like napalm in transit in a Jeep? Because I think we're looking at a
Yeah, I
serious
agree.
biohazard.
This feels like a napalm situation. I do agree.
Napalm is just soap and gasoline.
More or less.
Making that in a Jeep while you're driving is like inviting your Jeep to explode.
We don't have the resources in the Jeep after all to do so, but I was expressing hyperbolically the urgency of a large quantity of cleansing fire.
I'm following you.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. What about, I'm assuming that, well, we probably have no internet, so we don't have schematics for this university. I'm wondering if we can locate something, what this campus looks like. I mean, if we had a drum of cooking oil, for example, we can certainly find, maybe do we want to assess the party first and then
We really need to get there and deal with it. Yeah.
right. Party with shotguns. Maybe we can isolate the infected from the uninfected. Luckily, the infection isn't
Ambitious.
subtle because it's really violent.
Yeah.
And we know the two girls who are trying to run the show, what they look like. Right. Step one. God.
Okay. So I'm going to assume then that Bones and Elkhorn and Delilah are going to somehow get rid of that body, dispose of it. There is probably an incinerator in the university, or I mean, in the high school. It would be down in the basement, but you've got a tarp that scared you earlier that you can wrap it up. And you guys managed to do that. And then what are you going to do after you do that?
Head to the college.
You're heading towards the college. Agent Curie and Alarm, you've headed out earlier.
Yes.
And on the
going
way.
straight to the college. Yep.
All right. So, surprisingly, for this part of the country, the Lafontaine University is a state-of-the-art university, fairly new. The dormitory, it's located across a bridge on the south side of a rivulet, and that is McFillian Hall. You can see that it's lit up like a Christmas tree. They've had power now for a little bit, a day at least. The campus is lit up. The campus is kind of nice, but you guys are probably more concerned with what's going on inside the building. It becomes quite obvious that there are students milling about. There are people making out here and there. There are people laughing and carrying on that aren't making out, but just drinking. It looks like they're drinking heavily. You can smell the smell of marijuana and everything else. And as you clear the doorway, there are banners they've put up, party tonight, 9 p.m., but nobody's been waiting. Classes canceled for a week because of the disaster. There's a lot of people, a lot of young people, boys and girls, men and women, young men and women.
If the young men and women are making out and partying, then Tilda and Melody haven't gotten to them yet. So again, it's about moving through the crowd, and because again, the only good thing about this is that they're not subtle.
Right.
We want to.
This building is 6 stories high.
Fillion Hall in total is
6 stories. It's a dormitory.
It's a dorm-wide party? Good
I'll stop one of the
God.
couples making out. Have you seen Tilda Hastings or the other woman?
Melody. Birthing.
They don't know who you're talking about.
Okay.
Step 1, Agent Curie, I think we want to set off the fire alarm.
Oh, good idea.
That's going to really dampen the spirits.
I'm just reaching for it and pulling it. Yep.
Hey, just as you pull the fire alarm, Agent Bones Elkhorn and join you. The fire alarm goes off, and you hear a lot of "fuck."
Let's go.
Is this a drill?
Go.
Is this a drill?
No, let's go. Let's go.
Are there sprinklers?
The sprinklers don't go off automatically unless there's a fire.
Right. Do you have a lighter? Do you have one of the grabbing a punk kid with a bong or something and taking a lighter, getting up on a table,
holding it up to the thing. Yep.
Okay. It takes you a couple of seconds, and then suddenly the water goes off. And you realize that you are now drenching all of the students who have to leave the building back out into a 20-degree temperature air.
I got bigger fish to fry.
It kind of starts a bit of a panic because the people who are wet are cursing. They get to the front door and they step out into the cold, and then they're totally freaking out that it's freezing and they're wet and
drunk, and they'll have to gather together for warmth.
And drunk. But it starts to build. People don't quite want to leave the building. They're staying halfway in the outside and halfway in the bottom
fine.
of it.
Not worried about that.
Love it. You know, the
What if-
people who are not running away are the girls who want the party.
Exactly.
And we
And
can
that's what we're
start
sweeping
clearing the
for.
building.
Yeah.
Girls and dudes, yeah.
Well, I
Co-ed
mean, the ladies,
dormitory.
but it's the ladies that are the. I mean, Chad presumably is already full of
Melody and
babies.
Melody
Should we
and Tilda, so
find
we're
Chad because he's the organizer, right? So if he moves the party to somewhere else, then
Yeah.
yeah.
And people might actually know who Chad is if we ask.
Mm.
Also, I
right.
think if we're brandishing shotguns and walking around looking angry, these college kids are not maybe going to be honest with us, but they are going to run away
Yeah.
unless they're infected, in which case they're not.
They're actually just looking at you like grown-ups that they think you're
That ruin
weird,
parties.
and they're just sort of like, well, hey, what's with the guns, and they're obviously, because you guys are dressed like FEMA, so you're obviously authorities. They don't run away. Mostly they're just really pissed off because they're wet now, and the water continues to flow. Okay, but you'd mentioned some things. What do you want to talk to them? You want to ask? You want to?
Find
You guys
Chad.
can start going. I think some people should start moving. I'm going to turn to one of these people and say, "Hey, where the fuck is Chad?"
Chad's probably running out of the building now because everything's wet.
Which room was Chad's room, asshole? Come on.
Chad's room. I don't know where Chad lives.
God, useless.
I mean, everybody was up on the 5th floor. That's where the party was.
Thank you. All right, let's go.
Yeah,
All right,
locate
so
the
up you
keg.
go. And as the 5 of you are going up, you are, of course, being passed by students running out of the building. Some of them now with umbrellas, some of them with, coats and stuff thrown over their heads because it's raining. Somebody turn the goddamn water off. What the fuck? There's no fire. Why don't see no fire? Oh.
There's going to be a fire.
But as you get up to the second, the third, the fourth level, there's one dude down at the end of one of the halls that doesn't seem to be bothered by the water. He's just walking down. He sees you and gives you like the once over, like looking you up and down, and smiles. Enjoying the party?
Yeah, we're gonna just blast this dude.
Okay, you're gonna point your guns at him and shoot?
Alarm, if you're talking, I can't hear you.
He's probably just stoned, but we don't have time.
No.
Go ahead and shoot if that's what you're gonna do.
I'm truly not great with a gun, so someone else should do this.
This is some mom and dad's little baby that you're murdering.
That's why we play Delta Green.
Us to think that.
So there are sprinklers going off, and he's a bit far away. Is his face bloody looking at all?
That's fair.
No, not necessarily. It looks kind of pale because the water's cold.
Agent Curie, hand me your knife, please.
Yeah, you got it.
You're going to do that? Okay, when you do that, he goes, oh.
Shoot him.
You're into that sort of
All right,
stuff.
we're blasting
Yep,
them.
we're done. Done.
Nice call, Delilah.
Yeah, that was very good. Very good.
Describe it. Tell me how you're shooting. Where are you shooting? What are you doing?
I say shoot. I presume everyone else fires, and then I pick my gun up and shoot him too.
Right.
I'm aiming for the throat because this thing's probably nested there.
Also, it's a college dorm hallway, so he doesn't have a lot of lateral choice. He's just getting closer to us, so it's basically point and click.
You fire. The bullets or the shot enters his chest right below his neck. He splatters. and falls to the ground, and you can see that in fact he was infected. He had a large tube thing down his throat, and he is dead. He twitches. You can see that some of his blood was orange, orangish yellow. You also saw more or less where he was coming from.
This is the 4th floor, not the 5th?
Correct.
Okay,
Yep,
so
keep going.
we've got 2 primary floors. We want to leave a team here. Have we gotten in touch with Filigree since we've entered?
You
He said
haven't
once. He
seen
said
him.
once that the not since we've entered. No.
All right, so we should, if anybody can get Filigree on a radio, that would be good. I think a couple of us should try to clear this floor while we go. I think the kegs are on 5 based on what the kids said.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll
Everyone
radio
bring a knife
Filigree.
with them to check.
You try to get a hold of Filigree, and you get a better signal this time on his radio, and he tells you that he admits that he was afraid to go into the building all the way because there was weird stuff going on, but now he sees all of the students outside, and he's going to herd them at least away from the building.
Fine.
And
That's great. Be in
Perfect.
charge
Get
of
them into the next
young
dorm.
adults.
Get them
Perfect.
into a cafeteria. Ideal.
Be
But
on
he
the
also
lookout for
tells
be on
you-
the lookout for anyone who might be infected, please.
he also tells you that it's very likely that some of these students have called the fire department and or the police.
Fucking hell, we have to deal with the bodies.
We can't think
Yeah.
about
Okay.
that now. We've got to deal with the actual vectors. Let's go.
And I will say in that regard, we've already got 1 orange bleeder at the coroner's office, which is going to help with the wrap up with those bodies.
All right,
Didn't
so
Curry incinerate that one?
No, I haven't yet. We were
Okay.
worried about how it would be affected by fire.
all right, so in the process of this, you find a room where you kick open the door, and inside you find at least 5 people, all in the midst of a sexual orgy. And at the moment, you don't see any blood, but they seem to be right in the midst of it. And they're like, close the fucking door. Of course, they're also having ice cold water raining down on top of them, and they don't seem to be stopping.
Have you ever seen ever interrupted dogs with a fire hose or garden hose? They should not. So I think we need to just take points in the room and the infection.
Do we want to do the cut theory, or are we just mowing people down?
I think anybody who's engaged in here is either already infected or guaranteed
infected.
to be
Okay.
infected.
Yeah, just shoot
Okay.
them.
All right, yeah, we'll just shoot them.
It's a nightmare.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
So
could
it's like
probably
A,
just-
B, C, D quadrant sort of thing.
To sort of ease your mind, you do notice as you're about to do this that you can see bite marks on some of them on their arms where they were infected.
Should one of us go down and try to intercept the police and the fire? Just tell them false alarm. We're dealing with it.
They're gonna hear the shotgun blast from inside.
They're going to see all the wet students. They're going to see.
Yeah, it was a false alarm. Some dickhead with a bong set off the fire alarm. We're looking into it. You know what I mean?
Would be nice to buy us some time, but I'm worried about. Well, let's clean this room and then
Okay.
talk.
All right. Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
We need to start just
Please stop blasting, yeah.
So you don't seem to be getting any resistance. You realize too that these victims, these infected, they are sexually drawn to your violence. So when you shoot the first one, the others react almost orgasmically to your violent shooting the other person. But very quickly you've killed them all, and you see they're all that the ones who were doing the fucking were in already infected. The ones that were being fucked were getting infected. it takes you a while. You clear a few other rooms, and then as you're getting towards one end of the building, you kick open a door, and much to your horror, you see 5 more people. These are lying on the floor and on the bed, and they are beginning to swell. Not like in front of your eyes, but you see they're at least an hour or two into it.
Hilda or Melody spotted yet?
Not yet.
All right.
So we
these-
shoot them.
Okay.
Yep.
You shoot them, they splatter. You can see the sort of fetal amante inside of them that doesn't react. Finally, you find a room with both Tilda and Melody. They have Chad pinned to the bed, and their things are jabbing into him, and he is screaming as you are doing this.
So we
Go.
shoot
One-
them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Shoot-
With one
shoot them
final
all.
shot, you kill them all. You do a quick sweep. You don't find anything else, and you can hear, sirens off in the distance, heading towards the college. What do you guys want to do?
We're so fucked. We're just gonna have to abandon ship.
Yeah, I think we go.
Presumably,
The water's finally turned off. It doesn't
Yeah,
stay
yeah.
on forever.
presumably the water's run out. So if we were to set a fire
I
now,
think we go to floor 2 and make the biggest fire we can to try to clean up as much of the evidence on the upper floors,
Good idea.
because it's gonna be hard. We can't cart all of this exotic matter out, and it
Yeah.
has to be incinerated.
Well, there's plenty of alcohol.
Hmm.
Yeah,
There is
everybody
plenty of alcohol.
Everybody grab two bottles of booze on the way down to. We can use the stairs, not the elevator, because they're probably out for fire. And we
Yeah.
start a big one in like the lounge on floor 2. Maybe there's a microwave there. We can throw some bags of popcorn from the refrigerator on
Please.
it. And then exit from the rear stairs, reconnect with Filigree. The lawsuits are going to be really bad, but there's a
Yeah.
chance that we might not have an outbreak
we might
at
have
the cost
saved
of,
it.
a good.
Our
chunk of
sanity.
I know.
Our sanity,
How about
everyone else's
that?
sanity. A lot of
We
kids died.
just got to do this. We got to act. Just
Yeah.
set it all
Yep.
on fire.
Booze, popcorn, fire, escape, lies, filigree, showers, long showers at the motel if we make it back there.
Yeah.
And then really close surveillance when we get any kind of media back on about any aberrant behavior in this county and neighboring counties. Because if one of those things got out and it makes 2 subtle ones, then it's going to be explosive.
Right. If we have to
Elkhorn.
leave, we leave Filigree behind as like watch on point on that one.
Elkhorn, your arm. Show us.
He's fine.
Okay.
All right.
You're still with us,
all
man.
those plans in place. You set the building alight. It's not that hard. Perhaps you douse the bodies, the infected bodies, with alcohol before you light
Everclear.
them on fire. Everclear. I don't think people drink Everclear. It would knock you. It's pretty strong.
College
We're talking
students
about
make
college
punch with it.
students.
It's
Well,
a
yeah, you
cheap
can
way
make
to
punch with it.
punch.
It would be okay, but I make
From
limoncello
experience.
with it. All right. So you set the building on fire. You escape out the back.
Yep.
Now the
Fire
students are
stairs.
like, "Oh, there is a fire," as they watch. They get far enough away from it. Some of them, of course, saw things and some weird shit going on. You guys manage to get out. You get back to the hotel. Filigree joins you, and from there, you're going to disappear back out into the countryside and hope for the best.
Yeah, if we're gonna have
Eventually,
Filigree
you
needs to be read in, but yeah.
yeah, Filigree
Yeah.
needs to be point and observant in this area for a while.
Yeah, he's the friendly now.
okay.
He's-
Eventually, you get back to you tell Delta Green everything that happened. Um, they suggest ways that they're going to try and take care of the problem. They send in agents to basically psychologically convince anyone who saw anything that they were mistaken, that they were perhaps too much on drugs. If that doesn't work, they discount them and make them look like idiots, on the news. Conspiracies. Eventually, everything calms down. The local papers don't say anything about the weirdness. The National Guard, they come into the city, and they decide that what's reported on the news is that the death toll in Lafontaine was much higher than they had originally thought, and that there were a number of disasters caused by the cold, and things are hushed up and nothing ever happens. Filigree eventually becomes an agent. He is stationed in Lafontaine for a short period of time. You manage to take all of the objects and get them returned to Delta Green, and you are all commended for handling the situation. Though they would suggest you try to not kill as many people if you didn't have to.
I two points regarding our immediate handler and the situation. One is, I think we could argue strenuously that we didn't kill a single person that couldn't be allowed to. And the other thing is, if I can convince my other teammates, I want to keep the printout of the situation of hands privately, or I want to keep it in our section as a resource for this group of agents instead of turning it over to Delta Green to vanish forever.
Okay.
We'll see in future whether I can convince the rest of you.
All right. So that is basically the end of our story. You figured out most of it. What the events that took place were: Skip went into the green box and was infected.
Right.
He went home very ill, and having thrown up. The thing was now in the cedar. It's called a cedar in the game. The cedar was now in his throat. He was incredibly troubled by things that were being implanted in his mind by this cedar. He was becoming violent, and inadvertently he murdered his mother as being driven by this thing, and infected her. The cedar plant's basically a seed which grows into an amante. The cedar itself is part of the amante's body, and it's designed to break off. The creature will leap onto you and ram that thing down your throat, and it immediately begins to neurologically take you over. There were chances that any one of you could have been infected, and then we would have gone into a slightly different thing for one of you. However, the amante waits until you are alone, and you never were really alone, so it never had the opportunity to attack. The amante is intelligent. When Agent Bones was trying to trick it, it was anticipating what he was doing. It was, in fact, probably one of the older amantes that had formed, and it can actually control the people through the cedar. So it was already controlling Tilda and Melody and getting them to do things. They were pretty much being ordered to do it by the Amante. The Amante was hatched from Skip's mother, and it escaped, and it managed to get into Tilda and Melody's basement, where it ate their pets and found them both sleeping. So it managed to infect Melody and then later Tilda, and they began to worship it because, like I say, it can sort of control the person. Jonas came home because he was concerned, and when he went in, Tilda and Melody tried to sexually assault him, but he was gay and he had no interest, and he kind of fought them off and escaped. They chased him half naked through the snow, and when they couldn't catch up to him and he got away, they grabbed a homeless man and brought him inside and offered themselves to the homeless guy and killed him.
So was Jonah still infected? Like, did that kill him?
No, it just bit him. He froze to death.
Okay. His bite was bad enough to be like he was endangered because he was already changing.
Right. Then they set up, they were driven by this thing. So they set up this whole thing with Pamela, which they invited her over to fix the plumbing in the morning. And then they murdered her and infected her. And then after, they did porn and they did all this other stuff. And they finally got so, intense that they called Kelly. They went over there and murdered him and his son. And then, they headed on. We don't know exactly what they did, but they headed eventually to the college to infect more.
I think the intermediary stage there was that the household, Kelly and the landlord's household had that flyer to the door, so they came in to murder them. While the monster went in the back, they were like, "Oh, flyer! A bunch of people. Sounds good."
Well, and they did go to the high school, but the high school was, it says in the thing that if the Amante gets away from you, it's going to go straight to the high school. Because it's this big warm thing that's right over there.
Right.
So it didn't have to be a split thing, but it happened to be a split thing as we played.
And you guys did very well. Most of the players that have played this before didn't end up killing these Amantes as they were getting away from them. You guys had some really good shots.
I've only got a firearms of 20, but I managed to be successful twice, which is great and hardly, assured.
And I had to throw the basketball thing in because I did that every time. It was just too funny. All right. So, where is it? Our players included. Our players included Holly Buto, Riley Kruger, Alex Sun, Dan DePolis, and David Gassaway with yours truly as the handler. We have a Discord server where you can chat with other members, you can set up private games, and you can learn the finer arts of gameplay and game mastering. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Podbean or iTunes or Spotify. If you'd like to help support our show, please visit our Patreon account. Just $1 a month helps us a lot. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel and punch the bell icon for updates on our latest shows. And leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answer any questions you might have. This is Thom Raley, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and the Delta Green role-playing game. Until next time, good luck and good gaming.